right, we bring in the show the great House member, Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan, great state of Ohio. Jim Jordan, I hear you were in all the meetings or some of the meetings with what I'm now calling the DOGE brothers, and I thought maybe you'd tell us. We just had our opening segment about that, and I think they're going to chop down the regulatory state. But what did you hear? What do you think you heard?
Well, I was in the meeting with the entire conference with both Mr. Ramaswamy and Mr. Musk, but I met earlier with Elon where we talked about DOGE. We talked about a candidate I think would be great as chair for the Federal Trade Commission in the Trump administration. And then I thanked him, frankly. I thanked Elon for what he has meant to stopping the censorship industrial complex, what he has done to defend the First Amendment. Him coming forward, I think, was so good, coming forward, getting involved, helping President Trump's campaign. I think was just such a good sign for so many people. So I took time to thank him. But in the meeting, we talked about a lot of things you're talking about. I love what you said in your opening. It's not just about reducing the spending, which we need to do, but it's also about making government more efficient by getting rid of the regulations, which are hurting our economic growth. That is so important, and it's about making people come to work. I mean, the people who do work for the government, it's all remote out in Virginia or Maryland somewhere. No, if you're going to be productive, you got to get to work. All those things Elon Musk understands just like you do. So I like where they're headed. I think this is going to be real helpful to our country.
The regulatory state that they want to stop, chop down wherever possible, backed up by Supreme Court decisions. The regulatory state is the modern version of socialism. It's central planning. They're running the economy. They do not have a mandate from the Congress. They do not have a mandate from the Constitution. They do not have a mandate from the taxpayers. These unelected bureaucrats, they just enhance their power to run the joint, and they've run it very badly.
Yeah, and the key word in there is unelected. Not a single one of them ever put their name on a ballot, had to go answer to we the people, to the voters, to the taxpayers, and yet they run our lives. That drives me. That's not how our constitutional system works. So I think that certainly Vivek and Elon understand that fundamental dynamic about how our system, the best system ever, our country, the best country ever, how it's supposed to operate. And that's part of this as well.
But Jim Jordan, I got to ask you about this. You say you have a great candidate to run the Federal Trade Commission. I have a better idea. You should be abolishing the Federal Trade Commission. We tried to abolish that darn thing 40 years ago with Ronald Reagan. Jim Miller was the head of the Federal Trade Commission under Reagan. My saintly wife was the press secretary for the damn thing. And they were trying to abolish it. It serves no purpose but mischief.
Well said. I think there's a number of things we can get rid of in our federal government. But if we do have them, you want someone who believes in the free market and believes in the things we were just talking about and is not for using government to be weaponized against people, to censor people, and all the things that we've seen unfold under the Biden-Harris administration.
All right, I'll take that under advisement. Let me ask you something else that's very amusing to me, but I don't understand it. Democrats are now asking Joe Biden for a preemptive pardon, of Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff, and Tony Fauci. Well, what is this all about? Preemptive pardons, for heaven's sake.
Well. Plus, didn't they just criticize? They went after some of my colleagues who they said asked for pardons. I don't know that they ever did, but some of my colleagues who supposedly they went after them, and now they're doing the same thing. This is ridiculous. Donald Trump has never been about retribution. Right. Donald Trump has been stopping these agencies from being weaponized against we the people, and frankly from being weaponized against him, and all the lawfare that we saw unfold. Where Fonnie Willis, Alvin Bragg, and Jack Smith went after President Trump on ridiculous things that we all know were just that, ridiculous. So that's always been President Trump's position. But this is just the left continuing their crazy antics and crazy, concerns.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. Trump, right. Success is the best revenge. Success will unify the country. Success will end the divisions in the country. He said it a million times. He never went after Hillary Clinton years ago. He keeps saying that. And people are, you know what? They're projecting all these left-wing motives.
Exactly.
That's all they're doing. One other point, Mr. Jim Jordan.
Larry, they tried to use the 14th Amendment to not even let him run.
I know.
Thank goodness our Supreme Court said 9-0. You can't do that. So that's how crazy they've become. He's about success. He's about winning. Winning beats all this, and that's what President Trump's about.
Yes, sir. One quickie, Jim Jordan. Mr. Trump promised tax cuts, particularly for the middle class, for wage earners, for small businesses. I think Trump tax cuts 2.0 must be in the first reconciliation bill. In fact, I don't believe you'll ever get two reconciliation bills. I don't understand it. That was his promise. We need a blue-collar boom. We need to reward the working-class coalition. Come on, Jim Jordan.
Well, Larry, I don't care if it's 1, 2, 3, or 15. I think we could probably do 3 is the most we would be allowed to do. I don't care what the number is. All I care about is doing what we told the voters we were going to do. I say all the time, we make this job way too complicated. What'd you tell the electorate you were going to do when you put your name on the ballot? If they vote for you, if they elect you, go do what you said. No one did it better than President Trump. He's going to get done what he said he was going to do. We have to help him. And if that's 1 bill, if that's 2 bills,
no,
I'm okay with whatever.
It should be the first bill. The first thing.
Maybe you're right.
The first thing. Come on, Jim. You're a supply sider. The tax cut, the tax cut argument is so important. Those people need better take-home pay around the kitchen table. That's why they voted for him.
Fair enough, and if we can get it all done in one, great. But if it takes us 2, again, remember, we're going to have a 1-vote majority.
I know.
A 1-seat majority. So
I know.
We're going to
have
to figure out how this all works and make it all fit.
You're not going to get through multiple reconciliation bills with a 1-vote or 3-vote majority. I mean, you're the smart guy here, not me. I gotta go.
We just got to get done what we said we were going to do.
Yes, sir. Jim Jordan, the best of the best, old friend. Appreciate it.